Hi everybody, my name is Libby Pederson. Today I don't want to tell you a story about stranger danger. In fact, quite the opposite. I want to talk about establishing a general willingness to extend our trust to others. So this is me when I was young, not the one on the right, but the one on the left. But one thing that Matilda and I had in common, aside from our faith, was that sometimes we both longed for a friend, someone like the kind, courageous people in our books, to quote Roald Dahl. First, a little background on me. This is my mother, Lindsay Oster, and she was like those people you would find in the books. Courageous, attentive, absolutely loving. This is my father, Merle Pederson. Him and I could not be more alike in our personality. Outgoing, always on the move, boisterous, and sometimes a little aloof. Aloof to the point that sometimes we might leave a kid or two off to venture on their own, potentially with a bottle of bleach, only to find them with a ring around their mouth and the bottle firmly grasped in their hands while their overly attentive mother was out of town. But God bless poison control, conveniently leaving out minor details of the conversation, strong bonds, and ultimately love. So as I got older, my parents decided to move from Bismarck, North Dakota, to Des Moines, Iowa, where my dad decided to forge his path and career in law at Principal Financial Group. Like so many positions when you're starting out, as we're all aware, it's always good to make a first impression that's memorable. So as a jumping off point, he put himself in charge of the legal department holiday party. One thing he was tasked with, getting all of the booze. However, as my mom was out of town again, he was in charge of this little chunk, the day he was supposed to pick up the multiple kegs for the party, frat style. So in the off chance of leaving me alone to devour bleach again, he decided just to take me to the store with him. As you can probably imagine, Des Moines can get pretty cold in the winter, and this winter was particularly brisk. Naturally, one would think it's negative 10 degrees outside, I'll just bring the baby into the liquor store and not leave her alone in the car. Well, for as intelligent of a man as my dad was, common sense wasn't really his gambit. So he parks his car, gets out to grab the kegs, comes back, grabs the door handle, shock dawns on his face, and he's an attorney, so this isn't a look I was really familiar with, so I went into full panic mode. The keys were locked inside the truck. Meanwhile, he has 7 kegs packed up in the back. Not a very trustworthy look, especially when you have a baby in the back seat. So 2 of the 5 great traits that I've always read about attorneys and heard about are 1, assertiveness, not aggressiveness, and 2, perseverance, which of course he possesses both of those and really had to go into full overdrive with that day. Aside from great traits, a little luck goes a long way, and he so happened to find one of the kindest women I will ever be thankful for, a clerk at the front who gave my dad her keys to her car so he could drive home to get his spare keys while she waited outside the truck and watched me watch her like this. So he races home Daytona 500 style to get his spare keys, and in his victory frenzy-filled lap, literally snapped her keys off, locking them into her ignition. But I was saved! This stranger was like the Balto to my Sarum run to Nome. She literally transported me from the freezing cold to ultimately safety. Not necessarily in time to save myself from coloring with marker all over my face, but hey, in the big scheme of things, that was okay. I just looked at it as I was practicing my makeup and getting ready for my teenage years. So all in all, I have to ask you this. Where would you be without the kindness of strangers? Would you have gotten your first job? Would you have had help with a flat tire? Would you be in a loving relationship with your husband or your wife? I know for me, I never would have made it through my first 5K without the guidance of a caring police force. I never would have gotten my first internship in New York City. And I never would have met my very dear friends from college in Michigan State. And I certainly never would have survived my 21st birthday in Mexico without the helping hands from strangers I met from all over the world. Thank you.